Hang on, getting ready. There we are. I am so sorry. I'm late tonight. Um, this is a very funny story. So I'm late because I had to change my clothes. What had happened was, hold on a minute. I didn't want to be wearing a sweatshirt again tonight. So I grabbed my blue sweater that was in the closet. I put it on. And right before it was time to go live, I looked down and apparently my sweater had twisted around. So sorry. My sweater had twisted around on the hanger and it had a pointy thing here and a pointy thing there from the way it was on the hanger. So I had my choice look like an idiot or change. So I changed. So I apologize. I also have a tickle in my throat. Didn't have a chance to have anything to drink before I pushed the button to play because I am very conscious of trying to be on time. If I say I'm going to be somewhere at a specific time, I expect to be there. If I expect to meet someone at a specific time, I expect them to be there. Why? Because when we take someone else's time, we take something we cannot give them back. So remember that whether you are waiting for someone or waiting for someone as a regular habit, or whether you are kind of tardy a lot, try to respect the people whose time you are taking. And when you take that time, try to make the time that you take, make it worth it for them to have given you. I think that's important. So, all right, all that stuff's done. Welcome to tonight's visit. If you don't know me, my name is Reverend Alicia Leslie of Spirit of Unity Church, which is now an online ministry. And this is a part of it. It's not churchy, it's spiritual, not religious. Although you will hear religious stuff because it's all one, we're all one. But my whole idea is to help you to live a happier, healthier life through using the principles of metaphysics. If you like what you see, you can click the little like button, that works. And you can also go to YouTube. I post my videos at Alicia Leslie Mundane Mystic on YouTube, and you can subscribe there, and that way you will always be sure to get whatever message I'm posting that day. Alrighty? And I am very excited today. We're going to be talking about YBU. Those were initials I put in to kind of tease you on the description of what tonight's visit was about. And it really is Y like in WHY, B like in BE, and U like in YOU. YBU. So we're going to be looking into that. But first, we have our National Day calendar. Were you wondering what day it might be today? Well, it is Peanut Brittle Day. Today was like kind of a washout for me. I like peanut brittle, but I'm not eating any right now because I'm getting fit. It is Library Shelfie Day. And I forgot to take a picture. It's to take a picture of your library shelf and post it. So I think I'm going to do that as soon as I'm done. Take a picture of my library shelf. Well, actually, there's my video library shelf up there. Some of my videos. And I'm down to one bookcase. Did you know that? I used to seriously have a library. I had big bookcases and little bookcases, bunches of them. And over time, I had to come to terms with the fact that I was probably not going to read or reread or use a great number of the books. Some I was done with, some I bought on a whim and kind of never really wanted to read them. But I had let go over the years. I moved like 20 times in like 25 years. That was a lot. And every time I moved, I got rid of some books. And, God hates a void, so don't you know, I got me more books. But eventually I released them. And so my library shelf, yeah, I can take in one easy shot. And I think I'll do that when we're done. So it's Library Shelfie Day. Also to remember the value of libraries. At one time, I pondered the idea of being a librarian. Stop laughing. I know what you're saying. You're saying you couldn't be quiet long enough to work in a library. And you're probably true because, whispering is not in my repertoire. My outside voice is my inside voice. And then when I'm outside, that is my bellowing voice. So, but I do love libraries. And, there's just something about the way a library smells. It books. And I like the quiet. And I like to be able to work on something in the library. I like to look at all the amazing books. And so let's honor our home libraries and our libraries. And I so pray that soon COVID will be out of our way and we can go back and enjoy the library freely like we once did. Now, the other day that it is that I won't be celebrating, but I can talk about is Spouses Day. They have said that the average married couple spends less than 5 minutes in conversation on the typical day. If you do more than that, good for you. I'm not talking about just like what the kids did, who's got to be punished, what's for supper. I'm talking about engaging in conversation. For most couples, like if you're married or if you were married or if you're going to be married, think about when you first met your mate and you talked and talked. Some people talk on the phone or now the computer for hours, texting back and forth, lots of communication. Now, the couples that I know of that have successful marriages communicate. They talk to each other. I read an article when I was looking this up that said that the ideal for a couple to have a happy and healthy marriage and to build it strong is a minimum of 5.5 hours of communication a week. Now you break that down, that's like 45 minutes a day? Meaningful conversation. And that's not so easy because we do get into that daily grind. Another thing, I'm all for date nights for couples. I think all couples that, especially if you have kids, even if you don't have kids, should have at least date night once a week. And that's where you just go out to dinner or a movie or something and remind yourselves, why did I get married, Because the foundation of a healthy world, healthy lives, healthy families, healthy children is a strong and happy family. And it's not about how many kids, who's this, who's that. It's about having this group of people that you can count on, that they're there for you no matter what, that you're taken care of, that you're honored and made to feel like you're okay, because the world is going to be real quick to tell you you're not okay. So I honor families today, and it starts with spouses. Spouses have great power, and they do help together to build. You have to ask yourself, why did we get married? You know? And I also think, I have been there twice and didn't make it. And it's for a very good reason. The main reason is I got married because I wanted to be married. Also, I had a head full of romance. And I had this realization like 2 or 3 years ago that I had a 17-year marriage and had a 3-year marriage, and in neither one were we actually friends. There was this chemistry thing going on. There was this romantic thing, brief though that was, that went on. But in the big picture, our ideals were not aligned. So I know, because of the mistakes I made, how important it is. And I know how wonderful it is to have a spouse that you can count on, and that'll never let you hurt your feelings and stuff like that just for sport. I blame my parents. It's my parents' fault. It's my parents' fault because they had such a good marriage. I thought it was easy. I thought everybody did that. Oh. And there's a big reason why I'm going into such depth with this today. It's because it fits into today's topic. And today's topic is YBU. Why be who you are? And do you really even know who or what you are? If you say to somebody, what are you? If somebody came up to me and said, what are you? And I say it in the videos all the time, I'm an author, a writer, a minister, I'm a grandmother, great grandmother, I'm an ex. But that's not what it's about. This is what it's about. Each one of us is a unique expression of the divine, a unique expression of all that is good, of all that is amazing, of all that is wonderful, a spark of God. And we are here to be co-creators, to create this wonderful world, to take care of it. When we don't deny that there's literal parts of the Bible, but we also know that the Bible is metaphorical. It's anecdotal. It tells stories. It's symbolic. And in the Bible, Adam and Eve were given dominion over the planet, not domination. To have dominion over something is to take care of it, which is why we need to be taking care of our planet. How did I get there from YBU? I don't know. I have these little side trips that I take. So anyway, getting back to, if somebody said to you, what are you? You are a child of God. And guess what? You're no better than anybody else, because everybody's a child of God. The problem is, not everybody is being the child of God they were meant to be. So let's just take the old guy in the sky out of this picture, okay? And if we could look kind of at God as what we call, God is being, God is divine mind, God is all that is good. So that means that because you are a child of God, because you are divine inside, this is your outside, but inside you have that spark of divinity. Doesn't matter what church you go to, okay? Everyone has it. So sorry. Oh, hit a coffee. Okay. So it winds up that we start to think who or what we are or want to be is not what we should be, not what other people want us to be. Hate that I got a tickle in my throat. Sorry about that. Excuse me. So, um, we were born to do the things that we were gifted with and that we have a desire to do. Now, there's no limits on that. There's no paycheck or even credentials to that. You don't need to have initials before or after your name to be meaningful. You don't need to be a wife, a mother, or whatever. If that's what you want to be, go for it. Think of people who became parents because it was expected of them, not because they chose to be parents. That didn't really help anybody out. And you're just like, how's that working for you? Are you... Try to be honest with yourself, okay? Right now, are you being who or what you dream to be? Are you feeling a sense of peace, contentment, satisfaction with who you are and what you do? I hope you are. Because if you are, that means you're doing what you need to be doing. Now, if we look at the only life I can tell you about is my life, okay? Because I didn't live in your life. I lived only my own life. Although I have seen things that people missed out on the gifts they were given to bring to the world. But, when I was a kid, I thought about things like I want to be a movie star. I can't tell you all of them because they're not all something you'd want to hear. At one point, I wanted to be a nun, and I wanted to be a trapeze artist at one time. I don't know what the heck got into my head, but I in the time of my life, each thing that I did, first of all, was something I had a desire to do, and it took me to the next part of my life. So as a, hey, I'm 76 years old. I've had some jobs, okay? And you probably have too. They say the average person changes jobs every 2 years. Dear goodness, I stayed longer than that. But anyway, every step that I did made me who I am today. I bartended. And when I bartended, I took care of the people. I observed them. Sometimes we had those little heart-to-hearts with someone leaning on the bar, sharing that they're not having a good day. Fortunately, all the time, I did have a desire to serve God. I didn't know what that would look like. For a while, I was a member of Toastmasters for a number of years. If you're not familiar with Toastmasters, it's a public speaking club. And it's a lot of fun, and it's probably one of the more spiritual or inspirational kinds of organizations, because every week somebody gives speeches, and there's on certain topics and everything, and you have little guidebooks on how to develop your speaking skills. Well, as you're developing your speaking skills, you're looking into your own life and saying, how do I feel about that? What does that mean to me? Well, of course, learning to be a good speaker is a part of being a good minister. I was a district sales manager okay, so you look at me and you go, I don't think so. I was a district sales manager for a Fortune 500 cosmetic company. I had 200, and at my peak, I had 250 representatives in my district, and I did very well. I was top 10% of the United States 2 out of the 4 years that I did that job, and that was Avon. And when people look at me, like, usually no makeup, sweats, unkempt a lot, but I had the heart. I had a product I believed in. I had people. This is, in a way, I was like their Avon manager minister, because what I did was inspire. I tried to inspire people to be and do their best. Now, that was 45 years ago, and I'm still doing it in a different way, but I'm still doing it. It's a way of serving others. For a number of years, I worked for in the travel industry. I worked for AirCal and then American Airlines, and I loved serving the people, helping them find the best price in a thing. It's always this desire in me to reach out and to feed and to excite and to inspire and to help and to serve. Now, I don't know what your desire is. I don't know what your passion is, but this is my passion. It took me a long time to get there. Some people, like, they're on track when they're in school, and then they go out and they follow the path. And I had to take every step in my path because it brought me where I am today. And today I am in a happy place. I've been in a happy place most of the time when I did the things that fed my spirit and helped me to serve others. Oh, not every job. I had 2. Out of all the jobs I ever had, the ones I loved and the ones that were, I still liked them. 2 jobs that I did not like. And the first one was working for the Nupro Window Company. They made, I don't know if they're still around or not, at that time, they made triple pane insulated windows. And my job, they sell you like you're going to make all this money. Wrong! You're not. It's not about making money. You're not going to be happy in a job if you're just looking at the money, okay? Okay. I would travel to these people's houses. I would do this whole hoo-ha measuring all their windows and figuring out and coming up with this price. Okay? And of course, I'd give the people the price. They'd drop their teeth, and then we'd wait. My stomach would go in a knot, and I'd say, I'll tell you what, I know you guys need this, and I really would like you to have these windows. So I would call my manager, whoever happened to be in the office, and pick up the phone. And I'd be saying, yeah, they got this, and I'm trying to do this for them, and this is what they need. And the other end of the line, the guys are going, oh, good one, yeah, that ought to be fun. They're just on, how was your day? And, meanwhile, I'm pretending that I'm having this serious phone call before cell phones. And then I would hang up, and I'd say, well, I tell you what, this is what he said. If you sign tonight, you will get this kind of deal. So knock off a little bit, And they usually didn't. I never sold him a window. I don't know how. I didn't work for them for very long, but I did not sell any windows. So after you are done, you leave there. The next day, they have what they call the rehash team go in. They call you, and they give you a better deal. They're the hardcore salespeople. And they go in and they get the deal, and you get absolutely nothing. From Moodus, Connecticut, I would drive to Springfield, Massachusetts. I would drive all over the place to do these things. But it wasn't me. It wasn't what I was about. Yeah, but it's funny, many of the jobs I had did have to do with sales. I worked at Olin Mills, you know, the picture people, and I was a proof consultant. And what I did there, the first thing you do, this has so much to do with human relations. The first thing that you do is you take the people's proofs. The photographer took all the pictures, and they take a ton of them. And you go through and you get rid of every bad picture. So if the people had their eyes closed, or, you know, their mouth was twisted or anything like that, you made sure they never saw the ugly pictures. Who wants to see the ugly pictures? So you get it down to the best pictures. And then you set them all out. And they have a chance. I could sell that easy because I loved it. And I loved getting the people excited about their pictures and who they were going to give them to and what they were going to do with them. And, you know, and I felt like I was being fair and honest with them. The jobs where I didn't feel like I was being fair and honest, oh God, the other one was selling long life light bulbs. If I ever told you guys these stories before, I'm sorry, but they're good stories. I got a job working with this company that sold long life light bulbs to businesses. And when you did that, you made all kinds of deals. I mean, the guy that I worked for, he'd be talking to people and he'd be making them deals about getting boats, and maybe give you, started out with American Express dinner cards, you know, we're going to send you a $25 gift certificate if you buy these bulbs today. He was up to boats. I'm not kidding. I would go in the morning at 9, and by 11 I had a horrible stomach ache, and by noon I had a headache, and I got out of there as quick as I could. So what I'm trying to share with you is, although the work you do is not who you are, the gift that you have been given to bring to the world can be expressed in many ways. It doesn't mean you've got to be a holy person, a minister, a rabbi, a imam. It means that within you is a desire to be a part of this great consciousness, this human family on planet Earth. And you don't have to do everything. You just have to do the one that works for you. And if you're working with the primary interest being money, you may not be doing what you should be doing. Now, if you're making money and you're doing what you love and you're serving and helping people and you're happy, good for you. I'm so excited for you. But if you go into work during the day, you get headaches and stomach aches, and you feel like something is missing in your life, you know, chances are, I'm out of time. I cannot believe it because I didn't get to anything. I'm going to try to run through a couple things. We're going to be a little later than late, okay? Just forgive me. No, we're going to do this another time because there's too much here. So, maybe tomorrow I will do YBU part 2, and I'll keep my personal stories to myself. In the meantime, if you gleaned anything from what I shared tonight about things that work in our lives and things that don't, the one thing I wanted you to remember is you need to be you, not what your mother or your father, not a figment of someone else's imagination. Be you. How do you know who is you? It's already inside. This is why people don't understand the importance of regular prayer and meditation, talking to God, examining your life, seeing what you feel, the call, because we all have a call. That call could be being a garbage man, it could be being a king, it could be being a flight attendant, whatever it is. We're here to serve, and you have an amazing gift to give, and you got to be you. because everyone else is taken. So I guess we're going to pick this up tomorrow. I apologize for going off on my own toot, but sometimes, that's the way God works. So I will look forward to talking to you again, and until then, God bless you good.